Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you so much to the rest of the wonderful panelists that I see before me on my screen. We are certainly in crazy times where we are still doing this online, but the proximity and the smiles and the words of hope that I feel nonetheless are striking. Um, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm here and what sort of started this journey as to why I'm here. So, like Michelle mentioned, I got involved in the climate fight when I was 16 years old in my sophomore year of high school. And that happened because I felt something had changed in the place that I call home. I grew up in Miami, Florida. It's a place that I absolutely love. It's a place that for me embodies in its best light everything the United States has the possibility of being. Um, and in this year, in 2018, I believe it was, there was a hurricane that intensified from a Category 1 to a Category 4 merely overnight. It was something that we hadn't really seen before, and it turns out it really was climate-induced. Now, my mom and I, not knowing what to do, raided our pantries, raided our closets, and went off to the home of a more affluent friend with resources and protection as our building had shut the utilities off 4 days prior to the hurricane even making landfall. Now, thankfully, the storm changed its trajectory and its mere tailwinds hit Miami. But once I started going back to my communities or communities that looked like mine, I noticed something interesting, not only about this hurricane, but the climate crisis itself. See, the hurricane's path of destruction was carved along the lines of inequalities of race and class. And in that moment, I understood something. I understood that the climate crisis, something that I had been quite passionate about even in middle school, wasn't merely a scientific problem, but a social one that could be solved by actually harnessing enough political power. And that's when I began organizing. And in order to start organizing, the first thing I had to do was get over the doom and gloom and anger that I honestly felt that day as I looked out and saw my community destroyed. And what was able to take me over that edge was actually another thing that I saw in the aspect of that, in the aftermath of that storm. I saw people from all walks of life rebuilding each other's home, thatching roofs, taking care of each other's kids, supplying for each other generators. I saw an engaged people ready to rebuild. And that's exactly what we have before us today with the Democratic Party. See, we have understood, our generation and loads of people who we love understand the crises before us. And we know that the solutions are in place as well. And we know that we have a community out there of people from every town and every city across the United States that are ready to lead a transition towards a better economy and a better democracy. But frankly, the mission before us is not to give up, but to rather engage in that fight. And when we talk about being able to bring that fight, that vision to the Democratic Party, we're talking about building political power at the level of people power and political power. We need to build a party that actually believes that communities shouldn't have to fend for themselves in times of crisis, but are instead provided resources and support to thrive. We need to build a party that believes that our jobs shouldn't hold us hostage solely for survival, but jobs that allow us to prosper and achieve meaning. We need to build a party that believes that every worker should not only have a voice through their union, but earns their full worth. A party that actually believes that healthcare is a right accessible to all instead of the business of a few. A party that believes that we shouldn't continue legacies of injustice against others, but redress and heal them. A party that believes that young people shouldn't be trapped in fear and debt, but are guaranteed education, a safe climate, and the ability to dream. Those are only a few aspects of the vision before us. And I know that together here on this call, we can build a world, we can build a party, we can build political power where the places that we call home are here to stay and the natural beauty of our earth is around for generations to come. So I'm very excited to get into that today.